The Zolthurian armada materialized above Earth's atmosphere with the kind of theatrical precision that suggested they'd practiced this maneuver 1,000 times before. 300 warships, each the size of a small moon, arranged themselves in a perfect geometric pattern that would have made any mathematician weep with joy or terror. Commander Zixither, supreme overlord of the Zolthurian expansion fleet, gazed at the blue-green planet below with what his species considered satisfaction. His translator implant crackled to life as he broadcast his ultimatum across every communication frequency humanity possessed. Primitive inhabitants of the planet designated Earth 3492. His voice boomed across radios, televisions, phones, and even someone's smart refrigerator in Cleveland. You have been selected for assimilation into the Zolthurian collective. You have 24 of your planetary rotational units to surrender unconditionally. Failure to comply will result in total planetary sterilization. This is your only warning. At the United Earth Defense Command headquarters in Geneva, Flora Martinez stood in the war room, her dark eyes scanning the holographic display showing the alien fleet. As Earth's chief of defense operations, she'd spent 15 years preparing for first contact. Not once in any simulation had the aliens been this pompous. "Mum, we're receiving thousands of responses from civilians," reported Lieutenant Philip Chen from his station, his fingers dancing across haptic interfaces. "You need to see this." Flora walked over to his console. The screen displayed a rapidly updating feed of social media posts, video responses, and memes. Her eyebrows rose steadily as she scrolled. Someone had already photoshopped Zixither's face onto a famous painting with the caption, "Alien boy demands surrender." Another post showed the Zolthurian ships with giant clown noses edited onto them. A viral video featured a teenager in pajamas giving a deadpan response. "Sure, let me check my schedule." "Does never work for you?" "Philip," Flora said slowly. "Are our people making fun of them?" "Yes, ma'am," Philip replied, barely suppressing a grin. "The meme economy is experiencing unprecedented growth. Someone's selling t-shirts that say I survived the 24-hour invasion with a timer counting down. They've already sold 40,000. Flora pinched the bridge of her nose. Then, despite herself, she smiled. "Get me a communication line to the fleet, and someone call the president. Tell her the aliens just made a critical miscalculation." "What's that, ma'am?" "They gave humanity 24 hours with nothing to do but wait." 6 hours into the ultimatum, Commander Zixither was experiencing something his species had no word for. Confusion mixed with indignation. His communications officer had been receiving strange transmissions from Earth. "Commander, the humans are responding," the officer said hesitantly. "Excellent. They submit." "Not exactly. They're sending us images." The main screen filled with what appeared to be a cartoon drawing of Zixither, with exaggerated features. The text read, "POV, you're about to get ratioed by an entire planet." "What does this mean?" Zixither demanded. "What is ratioed?" Nobody on the bridge had an answer. 12 hours in, Flora convened an emergency meeting with Earth's leaders, but the tone was nothing like the panic she'd expected. "Madam President, the public response has been unconventional," Flora reported via secure video link. The president of the United Earth Council appeared on screen, and she was barely holding back laughter. "Flora, have you seen the jazz musician in New Orleans who set up his saxophone outside and started playing the Jeopardy theme song on repeat toward the sky?" "Yes, ma'am. He's live streaming. 300 million viewers." "And the Australian who projected you what M8 onto his barn roof in letters large enough to see from orbit?" Flora nodded. "Confirmed." "Also, someone hacked Times Square to display a countdown timer with the message time until aliens realize they messed up." Philip interrupted from his station. "Ma'am, we're detecting increased agitation in the alien fleet. Their formation is getting sloppy. I think they're getting frustrated." The president leaned forward. "What's our actual military assessment, Commander Martinez?" Flora pulled up the tactical analysis. "Their ships are impressive, but their positioning is defensive. They expected us to panic, to beg. They're not prepared for this." She gestured at a screen showing a coordinated TikTok dance trend called 24 Hours of Nope. So what's your recommendation? Flora glanced at Philip, who was monitoring the alien communications. He gave her a subtle nod. He'd found something. Give me another 6 hours, Madam President. I think they're about to fold. 18 hours into the ultimatum. Commander Zixither was ready to admit defeat, though he'd never say those words aloud. His fleet had conquered 47 star systems. Never not once had a species responded to invasion with mockery. His communications officer looked physically ill. Commander, they've created a musical composition about us. It's called Zolthurian Blues, and it's quite catchy, actually. I can't get it out of my head. Silence. Zixither roared. But even as he did, he found himself humming the melody. Damn these humans and their infectious creativity. Then Flora's face appeared on every screen in his flagship. Commander Zixither, she said calmly. This is Chief of Defense Operations Flora Martinez. On behalf of humanity, I'd like to make you a counteroffer. You. Counteroffer? Zixither sputtered. You have no position to negotiate. Here's the thing, Flora continued, as if he hadn't spoken. We've spent the last 18 hours analyzing your fleet. Your ships. Impressive. Your weapons. Formidable. Your tactics. Textbook Zolthurian doctrine. Circa 2347 by our calendar. Philip appeared beside Flora on the screen. We know about the Zolthurian Civil War, Commander. We know your fleet is running low on antimatter fuel. We know you need a quick victory to justify your expansion budget to the Collective Council. Zixither felt his respiratory systems constrict. How did they? We've been listening to radio waves from your empire for decades, Flora explained. We know more about you than you know about us. So here's our offer. You leave. Right now. In exchange, we won't tell the entire galactic community that you got mocked into retreat by a species that's never left their own solar system. We'll even throw in the compilation of memes. Philip added cheerfully. Free of charge, Flora leaned closer to the camera. Or you can stay for the remaining 6 hours and see what we do when we get bored of laughing. And actually start fighting. Your choice, Commander. 20 minutes later, the Zolthurian Armada performed an emergency jump to hyperspace. Their departure so hasty that 3 ships collided with each other in the rush. In the UEDC war room. Cheers erupted. Philip turned to Flora, grinning ear to ear. Ma'am, we just defeated an alien invasion with memes and psychological warfare. Flora allowed herself a genuine smile. Philip, we did something better. We taught the galaxy an important lesson. What's that? Never give humans time to think. And definitely never give them time to laugh. She paused. Now get me whoever made that Zolthurian Blues song. I want to send them a medal, as Earth celebrated below. And the alien fleet retreated into the void. One truth echoed across the stars. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't its potential for violence, but its refusal to take threats seriously until absolutely necessary. And absolutely necessary? That required at least 24 hours of mockery first.